And that is, especially from this grip here, because a lot of the takedowns we'll see later, but from this grip, you can sit down, is I have a plane that I can freely move down. And as long as I move my palm along my body, he doesn't have the strength in order to keep me from doing that. And it doesn't matter how he grips, or if he has both hands or whatever. I can move him pretty well by running my hands around my body. Now again, people are going to get hooked into this idea that they have to do something to the partner. The least you can think about your partner, and the more you just come into yourself and really imagine moving your palms down your body. Hussie Sensei likes to do things like come up, pick his nose, brush his hair. So I'm sorry to steal all his jokes, but that's he even does one where he'll come in and look in his pocket and open his cell phone and show it to the person in order to get the throws. And I really think that that's one of the principles that's being displayed in this kata here, is we have this plane that we can freely move through, right, before we get to out here. And so the exercise, and I know anybody that's been to any of the seminars that I teach, we always do this, but I think it's a really, really valuable teaching tool, is we start this on the floor. Now, let me use one of my hands, please. Now, his bones are indicators of lines of chi or ki or whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't have to be mystical or anything. It's because there's bones there, there's blood there, there's muscles there, and it's showing the direction that I cannot go because there is a body there. But anything that's on the floor, that plane I have that belongs to me. Now with two hands, he can do this, and this plane belongs to me, and he's along for the ride. And that's kind of the idea that I like to try to develop in my Aiki, is I can move freely, but this guy's along for the ride. But in that time, I just move that plane from the floor up to my body. So play around with the floor plane a couple times. Here, you can use your body, the plane, maybe one hand, try both hands, and now get a little bit more experimental with it. If you find yourself trying to move this guy, say, all right, hey guy, back off for a second. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. I'm just going to try to move myself, right, rather than trying to move him. See if that works out for you. There's one concept that I'd like to plant as a seed that I read. When I first started learning Aiki, I was told that Aiki is a pushing art, and I think that was incorrect assumption. I think Aiki is a leading art. And if we can lead this guy around, because he's just following my energy. I don't know. See how that works for you. All right, thank you. Sure, you've gotten a feel for this now a little bit. Mr. Kirby, sir, mind if I use you? All right, so I find that the floor part is pretty easy. People get that, right? Let's see. All right. And people get being able to slide their hands on their body. But now, as we move over to try to begin to affect this other guy, people invariably do one thing, is they jam into these bones. And one of the principles of Aiki I would like to suggest to you that I found useful is you always push around the skeleton. He's got muscles, he's got bones, he's got stuff there. However, if I move around his stuff, he's fairly easy to move around. Here, I like to continue this idea of the planes, and I'll turn my hands out to touch him, and there's really nothing there. I think it's great. So for this first one, I'd like to continue this idea of the palms sliding on planes, but I want you to turn your palms all the way to touch your opponent now. Don't half-ass it. Get it all the way over. In fact, it's this point right here. Okay, because there's bones behind that. So I want to put my bones in strong places and avoid his bones here. And then I'm just going to paint down his body, paint the fence. All right? Boom. So I'm sliding up a plane. Here I got to engage my elbows a little bit. paint down him. Now there's a couple things to think about when you're doing this. Is you can't go out here and be on this guy when you're trying to do techniques. Some of the lineages of this Toshimi Matsuda Jiu-Jitsu, they do that, and I don't think it's the right way to do it. I think you invite him over to you, have him lean on you, but not really. Make him think he can lean on you, but you're bringing him to other places. You can also take those planes and move around his body other ways. But for now, turn it out like you have a magazine and you're going to show it to him. Hey, look, it's your mom. All right. All right. So obey the planes, turn them out. And then, again, remember, what does Aiki look like? Blah. What does Aiki look like? Blah. A lot of times, not always, but all right, give that a try for a couple minutes, and then I'll give you a brand new technique.